academic learning of the students. Indian context में language पढ़ी पर नहीं, पिला या 10th पढ़ी सब नहीं, लिखी पर नहीं. We have never discussed, we have never researched on this particular topic. हमें सही Western concept रे दौड़ चलती बहुत बड़ा issues रही थी. आउ एक सबुठ बड़ा issues जोड़े की demand supply issues. ओडिशा केते कोटी टंका पड़े जाउची कहलो आंध्र, छत्तीसगढ़, मध्य प्रदेश, जम्मू काश्मीर एवं वेस्ट बेंगल प्रत्येक वर्ष किछि नले 50 कोटी टंका ओडिशा पैसा पड़े जाउची अन्य पार्टी. आमे नुआ टीचर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस खोली करूना, प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशंस को अलाउ करूना एवं हमर जेतिक डिमांड सप्लाई मिसमैच होची. जो स्टेट रे दरकार नाही सेठी बहुत कॉलेज, जोटी दरकार सेठी कॉलेज नाही. एबे गवर्नमेंट इज प्रोएक्टिव. I hope the government of Odisha will resolve these issues within near future. Government has a plan to establish a ITEP program in all the government colleges and government aided colleges, at least 2 in each district. Sabu district re dita within 2 to 3 years bhitere kariya pai chahuchi. Some extent this issues will be there. Another policy matter, जदि आईटेप करिया पे चाहू ताले 1 ईयर पीरियड कथा कोन 2 ईयर पीरियड कथा कोन साकू किछि वर्तमान आउ तार पोर्टल खोलु नाही. एडो कोन दोकान गुडा को बंद कर दबो ना ताकू खोलिबो, ताकू ता पई आउ पोर्टल खोलु नाही कि गोता पई चिंता भावना नाही, ता पई सिलेबस नाही. जति मरी पुडी की लागी सब आईटेप. दोज आर रनिंग institutions. What you are thinking about those institutions? Stand alone. Most of the teacher educations are stand alone. Whether it is affiliated colleges, government colleges, or aided colleges, or purely self-financed colleges. 90% of the colleges are self-financed. 10% colleges are government or government aided or government sponsored. And another important aspect, only 1 to 2% institutions are accredited. Stand-alone institutions. Ameni. पाथो अमुकर हेछि, हमर हेछि, रेवेन्सा हेछि, जोटी मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी इंस्टीट्यूशंस तयार होया. एवडी केकेएस हेछि माने नैक accredited करि चलती accreditation हेछि. बट व्हाट अबाउट केवल गोटे कॉलेज करिछि फॉर्चूनेट होछि हिंदी टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग कॉलेज. सो आई एम थैंकफुल टू द स्टाफ एंड द प्रिंसिपल to take the initiative within short and limited infrastructure. P hele nai mampu pona muhlo semane karichhanti. Kintu NEP bartman kohti only those institutions can run teacher education program, those who are NAC accredited, multidisciplinary and NRF ranking kotha JNU re sir achati Pradeep sir nokoya bhalo. Odisha ro अवस्था बहुत कौन से गोटे कॉलेज में एनआरएफ रैंकिंग नहीं ओडिसा. गोटे भी कॉलेज तमे जाओ दिल्ली में जहां धरिबो आपन 17 हिंदू कॉलेज को आरंभ करी जो कॉलेज को धरिबो से एनआरएफ रैंकिंग. साउथ रे जाओ जे कोन से गोटे कॉलेज को धरिबो एनआरएफ रैंकिंग. कोलकाता रे जीवो बहुत गुडे कॉलेज सब एनआरएफ रैंकिंग. से सेंट जेवियर हो, स्कॉटिश चर्च हो, से विवेकानंद कॉलेज हो, प्राय मैक्सिमम कॉलेज दे आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग. हमें भाग न पे ना भाग नेले को थर्ड हेबी कि फेल हेबी कि विनर हेबी कि लूजर हेबी तापर हमें जानिबा. एफएम कॉलेज को हम देखे बहुत गुडे हमर गवर्नमेंट कॉलेजेस अछि दे कैन टेक पार्ट. एवरी टीचर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस एटलीस्ट RI and RNT, IASC Sambalpur, IASC Berhampur, they can take part. Oldest institutions, nobody is taking part in NIRF. That is another drawback. Kahin na amne jo degree nouchhanti se college ro अस्तित्व नाही NIRF. जदि फकीर मोहन यूनिवर्सिटी भी भलो रैंक रे नाही 150 200 रैंक रे अछि अच्छु तो रैंक हजार यूनिवर्सिटी रो पार्टिसिपेट करिसें 600 500 600 यूनिवर्सिटी पार्टिसिपेट करछन हम तो 200 भीतर अछि. किंतु whereas SOA and KIDS they are within 30 and 20 private university that सेमती टीचर एजुकेशन को हमको आगु को नवा कहले ए रोबस्ट टीचर एजुकेशन सिस्टम करियो जोटे कि अनदर ड्रॉबैक एनईपी कोन कहला ए जो ट्रांसफर माटे जस्टिस वर्मा कमिटी रिपोर्ट कथा आपण माने जानिथिबे. जस्टिस वर्मा कमिटी expressed his concern regarding the quality of teacher education program running in the country. More than 12,000 teacher education institutions out of 20,000. 12,000 institutions, they are soft standards. Direct एक soft standards. Selling the degrees. Any पे लिखा है, any पे भी देखो. Selling the degrees. In a phased manner, these institutions should close. ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଆଉ କଲୁ ନାହିଁ 1 year period or 2 year period. This is the hidden agenda of the government. In coming future, these colleges shall shut up by the NCT or your HECI. Yes. Yes. So this is one of the greatest drawback of our education system. So the standalone teacher education colleges that we have to provide quality teacher education program. In a previous policy, it was there 1986 NP access and equity, but this policy recommends quality teacher education program. And what other highlights of NEP 2020? Knowledge transmission and teacher preparation. That multidisciplinary perspective and knowledge formation of the disposition of values and practices for teacher preparation. So day-to-day thing, values are day-to-day thing, day by day. So we have to create the teacher values. That is the Indian context. And teachers with Indian values, language, knowledge, ethos, traditions, and latest information. What is the key areas of this theme of the topic? That we have to prepare the teacher in Indian values, Indian language, knowledge, ethos and tradition, and latest advancement in the education and the pedagogy. Revitalization of their through radical action, corruption-free teacher education system. Not government or government-aided colleges they are corrupted, but most of the non-government, or you can say self-financing colleges, they are involved in corrupted because they are not appointing teachers, paying poor salary to the teachers. The students are not attending the classes regularly. They are not maintaining the standards and norms in practice. Only in paper and pen they are doing. So these are the drawbacks. And empowerment of regulatory teacher education institutions. So one regulatory body will be there. That I shall discuss in latter part. Second, action against of standard teacher education. That I have already discussed. Multidisciplinary and integrated teacher education program. By 2030, 25 or 2030, all the 25 target is not fulfilled. By 2030, they are trying to establish teacher education institutions, all the multidisciplinary institutions as well as universities. Now you might have observed the NDA advertisement for a CTE exam. Most of the IIT, IIM and central university, state universities and institutions, they have started the teacher education program, 4 years teacher education program. That is the agenda of this recommendation of NEP 2020. Composite multidisciplinary institutions that was there in previous regulation, in 2014 regulation, NCT 2014 regulation, no standalone courses will be there. That composite institutions and composite multidisciplinary institutions that teacher education programs are run. Multidisciplinary universities and colleges have to establish the teacher education courses. Minimal degree qualification for school teachers. You might have observed, DED is about silence. There is no recommendation about DLED in this NEP 2020. In different phases of teacher education program, across the levels, that is pre-primary level, primary, middle and secondary levels, the teacher education will be prepared and only one courses will be there. But unfortunately, in Odisha, all 14 institutions, they have to apply for secondary. Whatever the primary, why they didn't apply, I hope the institutions like you, it should be, that is the agenda. All the diets will be merged in the city and they will start a DLED, B.Ed, elementary as well as pre-primary period they must start. to prepare the teachers for the across all levels. That is the agenda. Integration of various subjects, that is there. I am not going to discuss. 2 years and 1 year BEd, merit-based scholarship, government funding support. There was a provision for giving grants and scholarship and fellowship to the interns as well as BEd trainees. But till date, all the committees are recommending, but government and stakeholders, they are silent about this one. And need the experts and network government, private schools and school complexes. So, you know, in previous policy, there was a recommendation of demonstration school. If any of you have visited RIs, all the RIs, they have a demonstration schools. Even if the R&D, your RNAC, and all the leading teacher education institutions, they have attached schools. They have demonstration schools. That should be, and there should be school complex, and the knowledge and expertise that should be shared, and in the internships, that was the, and nationwide examination, that is there. Already India has started. Even there is a recommendation for conducting nationwide entrance for 2 years BEd, and all states, they must keep their NOC for participating in the entrance conducted by NTA for 2 years as well as in forthcoming 1 year period. Credit-based courses that you can choose the other subject. You need actual teaching experience for PhD students. So all the PhD holders, they will study the pedagogical aspects, that is mandatory. I am not going to discuss. In service continuous professional development, that I shall discuss for 5 minutes, then I will conclude. So continuous professional development is one of the clarion call of this NEP 2020. So as I said, what happened? Once now you are preparing lesson plan, now you are preparing TLM, and now you are wearing saris for visiting the schools for internship, and you are reading before the class. Once you join in the school, you forget about this. So what do we think? गवर्नमेंट जॉब मिलना इतना डिफिकल्ट है, जाना खोना और ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट है. We know that. That is why we are more fascinated towards government job. Once we entry, we forget our responsibility, we forget our accountability. So why not the training and the skills and the knowledge, whatever we have acquired since our school days and college days as well as teacher education institutions, that should continue, and we should upgrade our knowledge from time to time. The conducted the professional and this is your CPD programs are conducted by different agencies. So that is another concern. Okay. These are the. I'm coming to the professional development part. Why professional development? For better classroom management, for communication, for professionalism and leadership, socio-emotional learning, assessment practices, technology integration, pedagogical techniques. So these are the dimensions of professional development. And why professional development is very improve learners' outcomes? Because in our classrooms are diversified in nature. So we are never concerned about the diversities of the students. We are focused only to the meritorious students. We focus to the limited students. So how to focus the inclusive practices of the classrooms? That is, should be your agenda as a teacher. So how to maximize the outcomes and how to enhance the output of each and every student learning. Increase teacher motivation. We are not motivated. NEP 2020 focused that well motivated, energized teacher must be appointed. But it has been observed there is no criteria, there is no parameter in recruitment process who is really a energetic, who is really a motivated teacher. If we are focused on the papers only, we are focused on the reference only, we are focused on the backing only, we are focused on the very poor politics that is there in the recruitment process. So we have to develop a mechanism within 5 minutes, how it is possible? A teacher is teaching a lesson within 5 minutes. We are assessing the output of a teacher, educator, or a professor within 5 minutes demonstration or the interview we are selecting. So that we should adapt. So higher job satisfaction, elevation of school reputation, retention of teachers in profession, wider sharing of best practices, pedagogies. So for that professional training, NEP 2020 has developed and also recommended different NPST. I hope yesterday was discussed. Inter-University Center for Teacher Education is there for professional development of the teachers and training. National Technical Teachers Training, annual refresher programs, national mission for mentoring. So this is one of the greatest initiative of CTE with recommendation of NEP 2020, National Mission for Mentoring. All the teacher educators and experienced professors, they are nominated by the NCTE for promoting the efficiency and guiding the country teachers in across the subjects and different disciplines, staff training and research. Yes. So this is one of the initiatives. NPS, KPS, TAB and CBSE, they are also conducting different refresher training program, orientation training program, summer program, winter program. Mostly the CBSE schools, I was fortunate enough to deliver as a trainer in the KPS and NPS, also in OAP. I used to visit. And so the CBSE also conducting, but our teachers are not well motivated. Only government teachers are attending. Private school teachers also, they should join for the professional development program conducted by different agencies, that is CBSE, TAB, KPS and NPS. This is a part of their teaching learning process. In a different global context is there for professional development. Different countries, they have mentioned, they have categorically they have enshrined for teacher professions, professional development. The countries which are advanced like Finland, Singapore, Japan, Canada and other countries, they have compulsory professional development programs across the levels and across the disciplines. The teachers, they must attend, starting from lower classes to higher education and teacher education. So in spite of all this, there are certain challenges. So those challenges, so the very important aspect is collaboration. For professional development, collaboration is there. What is lacking in collaboration? The schools are there, but we have no collaboration. As a teacher education institution, so we never invite them, or we never visit the schools frequently, only for the sake of supervising the classes we are visiting. There is no collaboration in the school and academia. That teacher education institutions, they must collaborate. In abroad, there is a collaboration. The teachers, the teacher educators, they remain in the schools, and the school teachers, they remain in the teacher education institutions for months, with the fellowship and scholarship by the government or by the department. There is the exchange of teachers and students for maximizing their skills and competencies. And technology gaps, there is a technology gap, and also there is a apathetical attitude of the administrators. That is very important, because our state, the teacher educator department, PTC department, those who are looking after, they are not competent enough to think and project for the country education. Since long, it was in SCRP, and non-function, non-competent people, they were in there for the chair, they did nothing. Now also, there is nothing. There is no agenda, there is no future plan for country education. So we must select the competent and experienced people, those who have experience of teacher education, those who have vision and mission for transmission of teacher education. then only the professional development is possible. So funding is also very important aspect. The government should not think only for the country's technical and medical education, professional education, and for the social outreach programs. Say বিভিন্ন scheme that you will not. If you want to reset the country future, you have to look after the interest of the teachers. The teachers are the backbone of the society. If the teachers' interest are neglected, if the teachers' professional standards are neglected, if the teachers' skills and competencies are neglected by the country or the state, the entire system shall be collapsed. We cannot think of a better future. Our teachers, future teachers, they will fail to cope with the 21st century needs and aspirations. So we have to prepare the teachers. We have to create the teachers and teacher educators for the country's future country to meet the challenges of SDG, to meet the challenges of NEP, to meet the challenges of Indian traditions, customs, or Indianizations, whatever we are talking about. So thank you. So before going to conclude, so try to be an effective teacher. There is a Sanskrit sloka. Parmeko kuli putra najamurka satannapi ekastandasti mahanti najataragana teacher. So you start yourself to be a competent teacher, to be a transformative teacher, to be a skilled teacher, so that others can follow, so that you can train others, you can influence others. Don't think what others are doing. So you start thinking of yourself, start thinking of your development. So one teacher can transform. One teacher, as one moon is giving light. Likewise, you try to be like a moon, not like a star, thousands of stars which are covered. So everyone, my best wishes are with you all the teacher trainees. So you will be efficient teacher, prospective teacher, being a prospective teacher. So you will think the country's future by energizing yourself, by giving input yourself. That teaching is just not merely a profession, rather than it is a passion. Thank you. Any questions within 2 to 3 minutes? I have to leave. Any questions you can ask? Otherwise, my colleagues there, sir is there, and they will clarify it out. They are much experienced also.
Good morning, sir. My question is, government is putting much more money and fundings to the school level for the various type of programs.
Yeah.
What about the teacher education institution? The teachers who are going to teach them holds a crucial factor for school education. Government is not providing much more some type of funding for the development of teacher education institute instead. So, what is your opinion? Could you please share to us about the funding and all the incentives that should be given by the government to us?
Okay. You just see for diets, particularly diets, they are getting good funds because previous policy and also the government of India that diets has a greater role for giving training, imparting training to the in-service and pre-service teacher education. So they are conducting training, particularly they say for example now NEP training is going on, ECC training is going on, different training programs are evaluation related, assessment related programs are going on. But what happened? Really there should be a change in mindset of the teachers to integrate those trainings in their classrooms. That we are lacking. And another thing, government never thought of that the teacher education is a part of the higher education or school education. If they think of it as a higher education, they could have funded like other higher education institutions. If it is, they might have thought of it is in school education, they might have also given grants like OIP schools like Kendra Vidyalaya, like Navodaya Vidyalaya, or your 5T schools, or Godavari schools. So we are nowhere. So somewhere, we the teacher educators, we the planners, we the academicians, we the stakeholders, we are not creating a brand value. आम आडभटाइजमेंट किए कर आम आम लोक मैंने हुए तो कौटी आडभटाइजमेंट कर सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द मेजर टीचर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन इज वन ऑफ द सिंगल पिलर and we are ignored, we are neglected. Not only this state, in other states also the condition is worse. In Jharkhand there is no government teacher education institution, only 4 aided teacher education institutions, and that is under school education. No faculties are there. All are higher secondary teachers, they are transport. Higher secondary PGT teachers are teaching to the B.Ed students in Jharkhand. 4 teacher education institutions, all others are self-financing, running in government institutions. Pay scales also, not UGC scale. Many states, the teacher education teachers they are not getting the UGC scale, they are getting PGT scale. In Chhattisgarh, it is PGT scale. In Jharkhand, it is PGT scale. So when they are not defined, teacher education is in higher education, or it is an independent program. So what will be the country's future?
Hello. I hope you could understand. Any more question? Just remain focused to the point. You have to suggest something. What should be the modalities of transforming the teacher education? We have already attended one is the font clarity, and sir has already said. Any more fantastic idea you will buy the story? Any more? Yes.
We can ask later section.
So, thank you very much. Thank you all participants.
Pandit is there, Chaudhary is there, so they can clarify.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very extensive presentation on the total issue. He has highlighted relating to all the aspects of the issue, and accordingly, obviously, the suggestion will be given relating to modalities of the teacher education transformation, keeping in view of integration of the Indian educational tradition with the modern technology. Thank you, sir, for your contribution. Professor Acharya, you are really incredible Acharya. By name, he justifies his academic excellence. Thank you, sir, for coming, and thank you, sir, for the. Now I request just a minute, sir, all participants, before our esteemed Professor Acharya takes the place because of certain emergency. We have a little bit inspiring activity. I'm handing over for that.
With the permission of the chairman of this session, on behalf of this college, I request the chairperson to felicitate one of our prominent panelist members, Professor Obade Kumar Acharya sir, on behalf of College of Teacher Education on this national seminar. And I requesting the student teachers of this college, please come to the stage, and requesting sir, please felicitate Professor Obade sir. Thank you, sir. You are highlighting a very important aspects of teacher education, the funding system, the role for teacher education in future, the transforming of teacher education in Indian context from the global trends. So, on behalf of this college, I am very much thankful to you for highlighting the key aspects of transforming of teacher education. Thank you, sir.
now. Okay. Now, let us refresh our mind. You have a discussion on another issue to be discussed and presented by our esteemed Professor Balasore Malik. Out of his dedicated research, he will highlight some of the issues that will take us to give some concluding remarks on the issue of transforming the teacher education in our country. Professor Malik needs no introduction because you have known him. Please.
At the very outset, I would like to express my wholehearted thanks to the principal of this institution, Professor CTE Balasore, and the convener of this program, Dr. Bonani Mohanty Madam, and the co-convener, Dr. Vijay Kumar Swaisa, for this graceful invitation to share my idea in this platform. Also, I would like to express my younger brother, dynamic professor, Professor Prakash Kumar Mahapatra, who has taken the initiative to be part of this organizing committee and a faculty of this institution. Present here, the chairperson of this session, Professor Prashant Kumar Acharya sir, and my co-panelist was he had left, Professor Amulya Acharya, and in front of me, my teacher, Professor Hare Krishna Sausha, and Dr. Sangram Orsa, and all the faculty members of this institution, and the people teacher friends, and also, one of my co-panelists, Professor Pradeep Chaudhary, is online. Now, one thing I would like to share with you. When I got a call from Dr. Mahapatra, without delay I told yes, I will go. Because there is a sentiment connected with this education. One day, I was sitting here, like in a place as a student. I have completed here my BA degree. Some sir were correction, some sir were there, Torah sir were there, lots of teachers were there. We were studying like you. So this College of Teacher Education, Balasore, has a reputation, has its dignity in the Odisha. Now, come to the exact aspect of this seminar. The way it has been designed by the organizing committee, so-called the planner, it's about the transformation. Now look at this thing. When they are suggesting about the transformation, they are suggesting the two connecting dynamics. One is India so-called, I will claim it's a cultural. Another is called global. So-called is international. Now, what I believe that the organizing committee understood that any sort of transformation, maybe education or maybe teacher education, can come from our Indian cultural insight, value system, spirit, and also global demand. In this context, what I have decided to share with you, I have focused about the second part, that about some of the global focus. The global focus is very much simple and clear. It's about the technology. Now, what I have decided to share with you, I will not give you idea about what our technology, why technology is important. My idea is very much simple. We all know technology, and we also welcome technology. But is it teacher or is it teacher educator who struggle hard for one point? That is, we do not know exactly when I will use technology in my class and how I will use, which purpose I will use. So this is exactly what I have understood as a student of education, that this is the major challenges that I as a student or I as a teacher or I as a people teacher will encounter. Now my submission or my sharing will be to address or to help this so-called teacher educator or the people teacher to get a competency to integrate that technology with pedagogy. The situation of integration, the context of integration, and the region of integration. Why I will integrate? Why I will integrate? How I will integrate? To prepare this my deliberation, exactly I have referred to sources. One, I have gone through the deep level of literature. From the literature, I explored two models, theoretical models that I will share with you. And finally, I had some experience while I was developing one module in the NCERT regarding technology integration. So I will, at the end of my discussion, I will share with you what I am suggesting from my own experience. Okay. So this is my deliberation. Come to the point. Now, you all know about the technology. So it's a technique. I can call it a psychological principle. I can call it a hardware. I can call it a software. Any sort of name you can say. Now the question comes. Sometimes we make debate. What the debate is? Can we do any sort of work? You may be teaching, you may be learning, you may be any sort of normal activity without technology. Especially, I am referring to the teacher education program. I try to give answer from the three perspectives. No, we cannot avoid it. We cannot undergo, we cannot continue our teaching learning process without technology. Why? Because three situations had justified this perspective. One is reality. As you all know, just 5 years before the situation was there, that there was a complete isolation. Students were at the home, and teachers are in their home. Still then, how to continue this teaching learning process? And one and only was technology. That's the point where entire world believes that technology has the power to continue that teaching learning process when the entire system goes in a reverse way. That's the reality. Second reality is that how I can leave myself aside without the use of technology. I want to book a ticket now. Where I will go? Just I will take the help of my smartphone. Now entire thing, you are searching for a job, you are doing any research, you are traveling anywhere, you are doing your banking. Now the entire world is compelling you to take the help of the technology. Without which you cannot move a step forward. Why the reason is there? Why? This is called the reality. Reason is that? Reason is very much simple. Because now there is a struggle or a competition between structural versus virtual reality. Now look at this. This room is about it can accommodate about 70 and 80. Now, to overcome this structural problem, that means I exactly strength of this institution is 100. Now the problem is that 100 students cannot sit in this place. Now technology has the power to overcome this type of physical barrier. The students who are staying in their home, they can also listen to my talk, practice technology. Now the structural barriers is one of the overcoming the structural barrier has the technology capacity. Second one, we always believe that technology provides the quality. That is a debating thing, what is called quality. I will not go to the academic part. Simply I believe that quality means satisfaction. Quality means pleasure. Quality means sustainability. Quality means efficacy. So if I add all type of connotation, then the quality what some extent can be clarified, not all. Still then, I believe and the entire academic faculty believe that technology industry come to the requirement. Now you will be a would-be teacher. You are a would-be teacher, you will be a would-be teacher. Now how you can continue the teacher education as a profession without the help of the technology? It's your aspect. Now come to these two aspects I have discussed. One, technology's role for a teacher and technology role for a student. How they can do. Now if we keep yourself in the place of a teacher. Okay. Now, how technology helps you? Because even if I am in the middle generation, sir are in the earlier generation, then you people are in the present generation. Still, then one thing to be clear: technology is fast forward. What I believe as a teacher, I believe it increases the engagement capacity, the amount of engagement that you are doing with your content and your institution that technology can enhance. More time can be provided. You can get more time for interaction with the content. And interestingly, when you are getting boring, when you feel that I am not interested in this type of teaching, now technology has that capacity to make the entire system such an attractive that your engagement time will increase. Number one. Number two, it's the effective tool for content development. Now look at this thing. Multiple programs are going on in the entire country. Driver take 10 meeting on a bus involved. I will not take much time. Try to believe me. I will not take much time. I am too much assertive and articulated. Okay. Please 10 minutes take kindly listen to, because I have decided to share with my idea. So now second aspect is very clear. What is this? Exactly the teacher, it helps the teacher to develop the content. Now what's for development? Developing content means doesn't writing new content. Rather, changing the modalities of delivery. Okay? Breaking the entire content to small parts. A single AI can do within a chunk of seconds. That's the power of the technology. Third one is called, it is the most powerful aspect. It's called personalized learning. You as a student of education or teacher education, I think you have understood. What's called the personalization of learning? Personalization of learning means, again, customize the entire thing. What? Your type, your interest, your reception modalities, that's what the customization. This has a psychological theory. I think you have understood what was personalized learning. You can refer this Skinner theory, you can refer to the Pavlov theory. All are exactly customized design of learning. Where I cannot learn a long passage. Yes, I can learn a single line. So the AI can make it small. So it will be interesting for me. It will change the harder word used, easier word. It's then customized. I take more time. Okay, it will provide you. I cannot listen in the class. I will listen in the room. No problem. Technology provide you. That's called the customize. Now technology has the power to customize the entire teaching learning process. Number three,
toward the optimum outcome. Of course, I think you all have learned about the mastery learning concept of the Blues. Do you know what is the concept of mastery learning? Simple, very simple philosophy. Mastery learning says that all will be mastered when you will control the environment, not the ability. That's called the mastery learning. Matlab, I have intelligence less, Prakash sir have intelligence high. I cannot change Prakash sir to me or me to Prakash sir, but I can change our environment. That's called the concept of mastery learning. It was given by exactly Carroll. It is given by exactly foundation stone of Unity Carroll. Now the AI has that capacity to optimize the learning. No problem. One poor student, it will take 5 hours. Okay, I will give him the content so he can practice in the home. No problem. Okay, he will listen my talk 5 times. A brilliant student will listen 1 time. No problem, they put in the power. That's exactly called it will optimize the entire outcome. Last one is called improve the communication. I am now speaking in English, but some students are facing the problem. No problem. Just record this and play it and change their language. It will also try convert it to Odia. So it's the power of the technology and the teachers will understand. Now come to the utility for the students. Now look at this thing. Do you know why the students face struggle? Because problem is not with the students. Problem with the modalities, the way they receive that. Exactly. Entire teaching learning process is unimodal. I am saying you are using your ear only to listen. Now technology will convert this unimodal to bimodal or multimodal. At that time, your participation rate will be high. Someone may face problem. So here, he can see, he can touch, he can experience. Now technology has this changing the modalities. It's called transformation of the learning. Okay? Uniformity to individuality, unimodal to multimodal, and teaching oriented to learning orientation. That's the technology power. Okay? So when all these things will happen in a single word, I can quote and quote say the personalization of learning. And technology has that inbuilt power. Now come to some of the theoretical models I have discussed about. I have already discussed about it. This entire aspect has a intricate questions. कुछ क्वेश्चन दिमाग में आता है. When to integrate? मैं तो टीचर हूँ. I know technology, but I don't know in my class when I will use this. When I will stop this. Will I use the technology before my class? Will I technology during my class? Will I use technology after my class? Will I technology beyond the entire school? I don't know. How I will integrate? Which type of technology I will use? These are very much crucial questions. I have tried to get the answer from the 3 models, theoretical models. One is the technology integration matrix that developed by the Florida University. Second one is the SRI model by the Ruben and Punten Dura. The third model is very common model, it's called the TPAC model. Okay, and there is the end of my discussion. I have my own suggestion. Now come to the first model. Look at this thing. When you understand this entire process, 2 things are there. One is called the learning goal. As a teacher, you believe that what is my goal during the class? What changes I want to bring among students? First is goal. Second one is, it's called the level of integration. But in which level I will integrate the thing. As per this model, it has been proposed that there are 5 types of learning goals. Any class, in any school or any institution, 5 goals here. One is called active goal. Active goals mean nothing. Increasing the activeness of the students by interaction with the content. It's called active. Second one is called collaboration. Do you think that we are teaching you only to learn the contents? Only to master the content? The answer is no. We are teaching you to develop your collaborative spirit. How you can share content or experiences with your friend, with your teacher. You can also get benefit from him. How you can connect yourself beyond the globe, beyond the nation. That we call the second goal. Third one is called construction. We all know nowadays it's a very much important. Knowledge is not reception, it's end product is construction. Now during the construction, how technology can help me? In which level I will integrate that? And fourth one is called authentication. What is called authentication? Authentication मतलब I have learned multiple things. In किताब में बहुत कुछ लिखा है. But whenever I see outside of the classroom, I get confusion. Is it happening really? Now technology has the capacity to authenticate my bookish knowledge in the reality perspective. That's called the authentication. Fourth one is called fifth one is called goal direction. Sometimes I also propose some of the questions. If this room will be dark, then I am a teacher, you all are the students, how can I teach effectively? This is called hypothetical question. Now, sometimes we also try to develop this type of ability among the students to hypothetically pose a questions and get answer to all of this. That's probably one of the learning goals. Now, come to about the level of integration. Now, integration, which level we can do? We can do it in the entry level. Entry level, just entry level. Because I want to learn you, I want to teach you, you will learn. Now, I can help you to teach at the entry level. When you are entering this, you are just trying to learn that technology. Or when I will help you, but you will learn all the things in my control guidance. Don't do this. Open the PPT this way. Then go to this next slide. It's called exactly adaptation level. Third level is called adaptation level. Now here you will be little bit master to operate the entire thing. And third one is called infusion level. At that time, you are master, you can bring any technology and use it at any place. That's called infusion level. And the final is called transformation level. When you have its own belief system about the technology, its utility and its utilization process. It's called. Now come to the point. All these things I will written. First level, I have decided to discuss with you about the levels of integration. First level, do you know why I am saying? This is exactly how the teacher educator will learn the process of utilizing technology or integrating technology in the teaching. First we have to do, when my teacher is teaching, I will simply listen and observe it. It's called entry level. Second one, I will do as a student, my teacher will guide me. That's called the adaptation level. Third one is, I have a wider choice. Now I can apply technology. Fourth one is called independent use with flexibility. It's called adaptation, infusion, and last one called transformation. Now already I have told about all these things: active learning what is, collaborative learning what is, constructional learning what is, and engagement. Now based upon this, look at this thing. This Florida University has designed the 25 matrix. Deeply try to understand. अगर आप ये टेबल को समझ जाओगे तो एंटायर सिस्टम समझ जाओगे. अगर your goal is to develop the active learning, it can be done in 5 phases. Active entry, active adaptation, active infusion, and active transformation. For active learning, 5 phases of practice is there. For collaborative learning, again 5 phases are there. For constructive learning, again 5 phases are there. For authentic learning, again 5 phases are there. So, minutely we should understand how to integrate the entire things during our teaching practice. We have to learn it first. Okay, this is about the first model. Come to the second model. It's a very simple model. This SRM model exactly says we can utilize technology by simple digital replacement to transformation. मतलब क्या पता है? I am just writing the letter by pen paper. When I do this in DTP, it's called digital transformation. I will replace my writing by pen and paper with a DTP. But when I can use AI, that's called the transformation. This model proposed that anyone do not start with transformation. It starts with the replacement. Then gradually it moves to the transformation. First one is called, exactly this model propose the four phases. One is called substitution. मतलब एक जगह पर दूसरा substitute करना है. Writing instead of writing is editing. Augmentation, more efficacy. Third one is called modification. Final one is called redefinition. Okay. So in substitution and augmentation level, technology uses teaching helps in enhancing learning. But in modification redefinition, it encourages for the higher thinking. The example is given here. Look at this thing. These are exactly for example. Write example where you can understand. For example, you are typing an essay in a Microsoft Word instead of handwriting. This is called digital. You are utilizing digital PDP instead of physical. It's called substitution. Augmentation time. You are using a spelling checker and grammar tools in MS Word to improve your essay. Augmentation. भूल नहीं होगा spelling में. It's called augmentation. Third one is called modification. Example is you are collaboration with Google Doc with your peer comments and edit and creating a multimedia presence. Multimedia presence is called it. Last one is called redefinition. Technology, students can create their own video. तो हो रहा है आप लोग आपका खुद का वीडियो बना सकते हैं. In that time you are exactly in the stage of redefining the technology. Now come to the last model. It's called the DPAC model. You are all familiar. It's the Indian origin methodology. मतलब क्या problem? I have a mastery about the content. Number one. Number two. My friend is mastery. He is an MCA professor. He knows the technology. And another of my friend who is a technical education professor. He knows the teaching method. But no one is effective. Because मेरे को कंटेंट पता है, उनको मेथोडोलॉजी पता है, उनको टेक्नोलॉजी पता है, लेकिन किसी को पता नहीं इंटीग्रेशन क्या करना है. So I am master in my own field, he is master in his own field, and she is master in her own field. But we do not know exactly how we can collaborate with each other to make the entire teaching effective. That model says we need to integrate the three abilities: teaching competency, pedagogy competence, and technology competence. That's for the DPAC model. Okay. Now this is about the DPAC model. First one called technological knowledge. Second one is called content knowledge. Third one is called pedagogical knowledge. And middle one is called DPAC component. Okay. So mere knowing the content does not help you. You are not a great teacher. You are a good scientist or a technologian. You are not a good teacher. You know the method, still then you are not a good teacher. Who is a good teacher? Who can integrate the entire thing is called good teacher. Now multiple things are there due to hints given by the rapporteur sir. I have to control the entire things. So thing is that when you will use and where you will use, multiple things are there. Forcefully आप use नहीं कर सकते हैं इसको. Okay. Now. Come to this is the whatever I have gained experience while developing one content in the NCERT. अगर आपको टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करना है, आपको do you know what you have to do first? First you have to make a content analysis. मतलब what type of content this is without which you cannot use it. Believe me. I am teaching food to the students. And what I have done? I have done a food chart. Am I right or wrong? I am completely wrong. Because food chart, food is a primary type of substance which will directly fit to the class, not by the image or picture. Understand? Second, I am showing the photosynthesis. How I will show it? Will I make a diagram? You are in the wrong track. Because your food, your photosynthesis is not a mere content, rather it's a procedural knowledge. Now procedural knowledge has a different link with technology. It needs a three-dimensional. Step 1, what is happening? Step 2, how it is moving. Step 3, how it is moving. Step 4, how it is changing. Step 5, ultimately. So if you saw the three-dimensional either YouTube or any sort of activity, so without analyzing the content, if you are forcefully using the technology, you are in the wrong track. Second, you have to understand the context. Who are my students? Do they have smartphone? Is there any Wi-Fi? Are they coming from which background they are coming from? Okay. Now, do I have sufficient time to use the technology? It's called purpose and time of integration. So the entire things will give you a right set to use this technology. Now this is exactly my mission. Try to deeply understand. If you are teaching the Mughal dynasty, what type of content this is? This is exactly actual content. So what type of media? I am using one media instead of technology. You will only use a poster, slide and digital flashcard. Reason is that because they have to really remember that. But if you are teaching the agricultural industry, it is not factual, it's exactly conceptual. Now the nature of the content is conceptual. Now you cannot do it in picture. You have to show a video. How the production happens, how the farmer is plowing. Okay. Reason is that because it is a deep interconnection phenomenon. The way to production, the way to preservation, way to growing of the sapling, etc. If you are teaching the rotation and revolution or photosynthesis, I have already told you, you have to show animated video for the video because reason that is a procedural knowledge. Only video and audio is not sufficient to understand the two events. Rather, animated video exactly portrays the things happening step by step. If you are teaching role to increase social cohesion within the students, diversity value. It's not this type of knowledge, factual, conceptual, it's a data. How you teach that? What type of media or technology is required? It's a discussion and maybe physical control. So, as a teacher, we are knowing the technological content in the subject. Rather, deeply understand the nature of content. And the time of integration, procedure of integration is very much essential so that you can use it. You can use the technology before you teaching, during teaching, after teaching. Any teacher uses the technology before teaching? No. But exactly, we claim that if technology is used to start before teaching, send one video to students, ask them to view this video, and start in the class with the questions from that video. Again, give another content to them in their book. It's called the assignment. Do the assignment when you submit, the teacher will get the feedback. That's what after teaching. And during teaching, no need to say, I am just using this video. Okay? Understand? This entire way you can use. Now look at this thing. One thing. Precautions for use of technology. Don't use technology forcefully. Avoid the use of technology for the sake of use only. Example, it is better to show different type of food or layer a classmate. Or parts of plants or different types of rocks in physical reality rather virtual. If you are showing this around that, should be used in a purposeful direction. That's my submission. If any other question, I will
Good afternoon, everyone. We are waiting for the third panelist, Professor Parth Malik, to listen some of his intensive work on the issue of transforming teacher education in the context of integrating Indian educational traditions with global trends. Professor Malik, I am very pleased to see you online. I believe Professor Pradeep Chaudhary, good afternoon. I am very happy to see you online. Namaste to you. And although we miss you physically, but yet because of some constraint, you are there in Delhi to.
People hear me?
Yeah, we are able to hear you. Please,
And what about my slides?
please continue your presentation. Please keep to 25 minutes. We'll have 5 minutes more for discussion and questions. Thank you, sir. Please start.
Okay. So I don't think this is the right time to talk because everyone will be hungry by this time. So accordingly, what I will keep my model is said that don't talk while we are eating. So at the time when all of us are hungry, so I don't think I should speak a lot. But given the opportunity, I will speak for a while, maybe 10 minutes, not more. That would be effective because if I speak and it's not effective, so I don't feel that I am speaking. But thank you to the entire team for the opportunity. I was supposed to be there with you all, enjoying the food, enjoying the interactions, so many other things, except academic, but I missed that because of some other one. Our center is offering from this year a Master in Education program, which is an interdisciplinary program. So I am being the coordinator, so I was busy consulting with so many things. That's the point. So let me, I don't know how to talk about this because there are so many things. I'm not sure what to do and what not to do. I am not an expert in teacher education, so let me tell you very clearly. So I work on teacher labor market, teacher component in development, but not teacher education as specific. So what I will be going to do, I will be talking, hope my slides are visible, maybe smaller one, but anyway. So my idea is re-encountering market medical education. So this is the idea that I will be talking, and in that I will be bringing teacher education to some extent. If you see, like all other markets are changing, the education market is changing a lot. And one important change that we see in the education market, I call education as a market because I am an economist. So some of you might not be agree saying that education is a market, but I say that education is a market because most of the things that we see in education is working like market. So that's the assumption that I made in my research. So I would hesitate to say that it is a market. If you have any concern, we'll talk on that. But in the market is changing a lot. And they are the second end, which is merit, is being compromised a lot in the market, in the expansion of education market. So in that context, I will be connecting these three important points. One is market, merit, and education. These are very theoretical debates. I am offering a course on this, which is for one semester. So I don't think in 10 minutes I can talk a lot on this. But I will be brief about the idea that I will do. Hope my slide is changing or no? I don't know. Is it changing my slide now? Yes, second one. So if you see, I am a person who works with lots of large scale data. We call it big data. So I take data and I speak. I don't speak in theories mostly. So I am an empirical development economist. I work on inequality issues, gender education, as it was being introduced. So I have lots of data, but I don't think this is the time we can digest data. So that's the reason I will brief. If you see this figure very clearly, India is passing through a very interesting stage. And that stage is demographic dividend. I don't know how many of you have heard about this. When we work on education issues, we must thought about demographic dividend. Demographic dividend is a situation situation where a country actually lives with youth people. Like there are so many young people in the country, and we have many young people in the country. And these advantages that we have many young people in the country will not continue after 2040. So we have almost now how many years? Maybe 14 years of time to take advantages of the youth that we have in the country. Lots of youth, millions. And after that, we will be a country like Japan and China, to some extent, and Japan more often, and also many European countries. They are getting older and older day by day, because they don't have many young people. We have. So we want to take the advantages of young people. That's the message that many people are saying at the policy level and also at the government level. So what should we do to use the youth people? We have to convert them into skill. You have to give them the right set of skills by which they can be meaningfully employed in the labor market, and also they can enjoy their life, they can help others to enjoy their life. And the one important intervention, one important way to use the youth effectively is human capital or education. That is what is why we all are talking for the last 2 days, I hope. Yesterday also I didn't join, but there might have lots of discussion on education, teachers, human capital, development and all that. We are also talking the same thing today, maybe through ICT, whatever, the ways that other two speakers said. So we are talking about the human capital. So it's very important to build our human capital, otherwise the youth that we have in the country will not be useful to us. That is the message that we are seeing. Can you see this? We have the data for 24-25, you guys data. Many of you might have used. This is saying Indian school education system is one of the largest in world. I am not saying something new, but this is very clear. We have almost 15 lakh schools, more than 100 lakh teachers, 1 crore teachers, 24.69, 25 crore students from pre-primary to higher secondary. This is a vast schooling system in the country we have. And some of the students who are actually now in school, they will be young after a few years. So this is very, very clear. But at the same time, can you see this? This figure is saying that schools with single teacher, we have more than 1 lakh schools having only one teacher there. And what is the enrollment in such schools? More than 33 lakh, almost 34 lakh students are enrolled in single teacher schools. You all are the potential teachers. Some of you are already teacher educators, so I am not referring them. I am saying the students, young students who are sitting there, who will be teachers, maybe after 1 year, 2 years, I don't know, after clearing all the exams. So you will be entering into schools. So when you will be entering into schools, you will see, you see the schooling situation today. Teachers in schools having zero enrollment. At the same time, we have some teachers who are working without kids. There are no students, but there are teachers. How many teachers are there? 20,000 plus teachers are working where there in schools where no enrollment is there. So what are you referring in this? This is the data that is being given by Government of India. You guys data, it's not my data. So what is the trained teacher position? The percentage of trained teacher in primary to higher secondary is more than 90%. But ironically, if you see, pre-primary teacher, school teacher training is very less. Only half of the students are trained in pre-primary. And as a student of social science, what I understand, the most difficult part to teach is kids, younger kids, 3 to 6. And they are in the schools. We call them preschools. Sometimes they are in Anganwadis. I don't know what kind of teaching is going on in Anganwadis. I am not getting into that. Though I did some research on that because of the time constraint, but you see, we have least number of trained teachers in pre-primary, and as a researcher, I find highest number of teachers should be trained in pre-primary because that is the stage where actually the students' cognition develop. 3 to 6. If you talk to health specialists, if you talk to doctor, they will say lots of stories on this. So there we are lacking. We don't have a particular curriculum on ECC. Now it is coming up with emphasis on NCE, this NEP, but we don't have actually such curriculum in that sense. And even actually, Right to Education 2009, that also doesn't include the pre-primary education because it starts from 6 to 14. So we know that pre-primary education is so important for everyone, but that is there we are neglecting the most. We should be very, very careful on this one, being teachers, being teacher educators. And now research is saying what the child will do in the age of 3 to 6, that is in pre-primary, that will decide children's future. Where, whose kind of schools that child will go, what kind of higher education that child will get. Even sometimes there are studies that is saying what kind of jobs the individual will do depends on what kind of preschools that child attended. It is so important. That's the reason I am saying. So if your life is relying on that 3 to 6 a lot, then why you are neglecting that 2 months? And this is not the story only in India. In many developing countries, that is the story that we are neglecting. Similarly, if you get into the higher education sector also, the higher education sector has expanded a lot. You know, we have so many universities, so many colleges, and so many students have enrolled. We have the GR of 29%, so that has also enrolled, expansion. But one thing that I am getting into is the idea of re-encountering market and merit. The expansion that we see in education sector is largely in the private sector. Please mind me. Say it preschool, say it school, say it colleges, say it universities. Wherever you go, there is expansion of private things. This is the data that comes from UICD, and it is saying there is a huge expansion of private schools over time. Number of schools and enrollment in private schools. Now, the latest data is saying half of the total school-going kids in India are in private schools. Half. Even in rural areas, close to 25% of kids are in private schools. And government schools are getting empty. So you know much better that students are shifting the boundary, going from school A to school B. School A is government school and school B is private school. And what is the status of the government? There is a policy called school merger, school closure. So you close the schools where students are not there. You are not looking at why the students are not there. You are just saying that students are not there, so you close them. Or you merge that with a larger school. That is the policy that is going on. Not necessarily in Odisha, but in many other states. Let's say Rajasthan, Haryana, Gujarat, so many states. Because government schools are getting empty day by day. And this is what the situation is emerging. And now the data is saying, like the prediction, maybe next 10 years we will have 75% of the kids in private schools, 75. And in higher education, now we have close to 70% in private higher education institutions. Close to 70. Only 30% are in IITs, IIMs, central universities, state universities, government universities. Only 30%. And the way we are going, maybe in the 10 years down the line, we will have 85% of the students in private universities and colleges. So you see how it is emerging. What is the data saying you see here with the schools? Both in government, urban and rural. The left side is rural, the right side is urban. In both the cases, students are enrolled in private schools. If you see the urban one, that is private unaided, that is completely private. More than half, 51.4% are enrolled in private schools in urban areas. So it is expanding a lot, and many kids are going to that. I don't have time, otherwise I have many anecdotes, stories that came from my visit to Odisha. I just want to share briefly one visit that I met to a government school because I was trying to understand how government schools are working. And when I entered into a government school in an early morning, I saw the headmaster is sitting and I said, "Hello sir, how are you?" I said like this, and he said to me, "Don't call me a sir." Then I was a little surprised. Then he did not say anything. He took me with him, and then he took me to a building nearby to that school, just adjacent to that school, and said, "You see this building, new building is coming up, and I have to give him the responsibility because nowadays teachers are given the responsibility of constructing the building also. So because of the accountability, he said, call me as a constructor or as a contractor because I am contracting this building." After that, in a few seconds, he took me to another 2 rooms near the school where many bicycles, medicines, uniforms are kept. And he said, "I am distributing this, so you call me as a distributor. If I am not distributing these, I am not sending the photograph to the BEO, block education officer, or DEO, district education officer, I am being posted rather than going to classroom. So you don't call me sir, you call me contractor, you call me distributor." So I actually understand what the situation is, what kind of situation is emerging in schools, and where are we located now. That is very important to understand. Being the researcher, being the teacher educators is very, very important. I am not exaggerating this, but I am trying to say how the situation is emerging in schools, particularly in Sarkari schools, we call them Sarkari schools, government schools. So there how the situation is emerging and where are we moving in the nexus between market, merit and education. That's the central question that I am raising today. I don't know, I can keep saying about many things, but I am not sure how things are going time-wise. If you see this figure, this is an interesting point. Lakhs of parents were asked why you are sending your kids to private schools. Reasons for sending private school, you can see two important reasons they are saying is quality, another one is medium of instruction. So these two are combining almost half of the reasons, more than half. That means parents are sending them for quality education and also for English medium learning. But I am not with the people who argue that private schools are giving quality education. I am not there. Maybe a few elite schools are giving quality education, but not all. Because there are private schools which are running in basements with one teacher, two teachers, without proper toilet facility. They are called no-fee private schools. So they will not be doing great. So in that context, I evaluated in my research, I evaluated something called private school premium. How much actually the private school is adding to child. When I took the net contribution of private schools, it's not great, very less. Because whatever the private school going children are doing is largely because of the good parents. They have a social capital with them. They are investing a lot on private tuitions. They have educated parents. They are contributing a lot in their home. But who is taking the credit? The credit is being taken by private school. They are actually beating the drum and saying that we made your child. But you are not the one who made my child. I am the one who made my child. But we have a phobia. Say that Sarkari schools are dying, Sarkari schools are not performing, government schools are gone. So if you want to make your life, children's life, child life, then you send your child to a private school which is free paid. In comparison to a school which is located near to you and which is free of cost. Even they are getting midday meal, uniform, cycles and all. Still we are preferring them because there is a discourse. There is a clear discourse on that, and it's important to understand that discourse as a teacher educator, as a researcher. That's my point. Let me get into something else. How much do we spend on school education? We spend a lot on private schools.